This is Joe Shufton for Horns Up Rocks. It is December 2011, so happy holidays. What a year in heavy music, man. So many highlights. The Big Four finally came to the US. The Revolver Golden Gods Awards, every single national show that came into the area. Right now, we're going to show you a few clips that maybe you're familiar with, and also some behind-the-scenes stuff that you haven't seen yet. And put your horns up.
Put your horns up. Put your horns up.
Throw your horns up.
Put your fucking horns up, motherfuckers.
Put your horns up.
We're watching Horns Up Rocks.
It's a special night for all of us, you know. I mean, all of us have toured together. We've known each other. It's a really tight-knit community. And then, you know, we got the best fans in the world. I mean, you know, they're always there. They always support us. And metal music, it doesn't matter what they play on the radio, what they show on TV, it always stands tall, always stands strong, and always be around.
We thought it would last 2 years, and then, you know, then we get real jobs. But it's just gone on and on and on. So it's great.
When are you going to get a real job?
In the next life.
It's great that there's so many new things and there's so much change going on, because it like gives kids new opportunities to, like, you know, they don't have any set way of having to do anything, and they've got all these other options to get their music out there and all these other different things. And, you know, it's a pretty amazing time to make music right now. It's exciting.
We just wanted to do something a little bit different, but we know, hey, that's I would not be here on this carpet if it wasn't for that maniac right there.
Sean.
So,
Let's get into Sammy right here.
Yeah, come here, brother.
Paul Gray, R.I.P. He's with us in spirit.
absolutely. It's
This
my
guy,
good friend Jamie right
This
here.
guy, we played arenas. A hardcore band, nobody's from Connecticut. We played arenas.
They
with
showed up late
Slipknot.
every time. And my tour and my stage managers be like, I'm giving your friends 3 more minutes. I'm like, give it 8 or you're fired. And they'd show up in 7, and they'd have the biggest circle pits I've ever seen to this day. Hatebreed, love them, best band ever.
So this
and
is
hardcore.
This is the man that you can thank for giving a little band, Hatebreed, an opportunity to play in front of thousands of kids.
Who was the artist that you saw that you were like, I want to get on stage?
There was a few, but probably Iggy, seeing Iggy and 80, seeing The Clash in 1979, those types of bands really made me, the impact of those bands to my soul, you know, to my kind of being, and I still, they're somehow just permanently ingrained, those gigs are permanently ingrained in what I do today.
Bird made me go back to Fear Factory just because, you know, we repaired our relationship, and he asked me to come back, and I couldn't say no. You know what I mean? I had to play all those classic songs right, because the other guys were playing it wrong. So I had to come back and show them what was up.
Because, I mean, everybody knows you are the remanufacturer since day one, since you came out. I remember reading that Dimebag Darrell will call you for tips when they were doing Vocal Display of Power. You were his tip guy.
Well, Dimebag had to call me because I remember when they were making a record, he was A-B'ing the record to demanufacture, A-B'ing it back and forth when they were in the recording studio. But yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good friend of mine. You know, rest in peace.
If you ever doubt yourself in the world of metal, throw on the Lemmy DVD, okay? Now that man is he's the metallic pope, and we're all in his service. I never thought I would say that about a human being, but I do. Lemmy, you are my god, and I am in your legion, sir, and I will rock my ass off tonight, because you are all things that are good. I think he can do that guy didn't say it. What's in G4?
Uranium, you know, always has been my baby. On TV, it was my little baby. It went away, and then I got the opportunity to work with Live Nation on putting together the Uranium tour, which, you know, when people hear Uranium brand, they know that they're gonna get heavy quality fucking music. Whether it's hard rock, heavy metal, death metal, black metal, we're gonna bring it to you the right way. So we worked really hard on putting together a package that had an amazing headliner that has always represented the Uranium brand. Black Label Society has been a staple on the Uranium TV show for many, many years, and of course it's Zakk Wylde. It really doesn't get more real, more metal in the classic way possible. This is Mistress Julia, and I want you to put your fucking horns up.
Now I'm producing some of my favorite death metal bands, as well as like some amazing hardcore legends, Madball and Agnostic Front. I produced and recorded this year, which was phenomenal. Growing up in Jersey back in the Ribbon Corpse days, we did lots of shows with thrash bands, hardcore bands, death metal. So I'm a pretty listen to all kinds of stuff. So it's been awesome to be able to produce such killer bands like them, and Cannibal Corpse and Goat Whore and Soylent Green, and I've worked with Nile and a little bit, with Morbid Angel, obviously.
All right, go ahead. Let's do this.
You're the fucking best, dude.
Rolling? Vinny, I couldn't think of a better person to run into as soon as I get to the Black and Blue Ball than you, the ambassador of New York hardcore. And Vinny, this might be the biggest show for all of the hardcore community ever, man. I mean, we have so many good bands tonight.
Let me tell you something. First of all, it's an honor to be here. I'm talking to everybody here. I think I talked to everybody. Who I didn't talk to, line up over here because it's awesome. We're having a great time, a great lineup. Hey, look, that's my friend. He likes wrestling. He called me up when Randy Savage died. Yeah, I was the first one he called.
Yep. I love this man.
Yeah, sure.
He invented hardcore.
Yeah, but we're both wrestling fans. A moment of silence for the Savage.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Yeah! Slap into a Slim Jim.
At the Trash Bar, my brother Jimmy. Last year, as I said before, we did this when I was starting my fucking
fucked up though.
Who isn't fucked up tonight though?
Wow, different fucked. I was like fucked up and angry.
I know, because you had like little cop incident last year.
Yeah, little cop incident, like 20 cops.
But tonight it was brotherhood
cops.
party.
They were here, but we didn't know they were here, so it's a lot nicer.
They were a little more fucked up than we were.
No, they're here, but they watch us. No, it's kind of funny to say it, but yeah. Other countries, where's your family from?
Colombia and Germany.
Colombia. Oh, there's no crazy cops in Colombia at shows. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Devin Townsend, and I am here with Horns Up, and I give a very fervent and wholehearted sup yo to all of you out there. When I'm writing, I tend to either put on a movie or, do something else, and so it lets one side of my head just kind of like create while the other one pays attention to other things. Like I focus on the process, but never to the exclusion of everything else. I find I do my best writing when I'm engaged with other things, and therefore the music becomes almost like a soundtrack to whatever's going on, right? So if you're watching a movie and it's like a romantic movie, it's like the notes that you choose end up being, at least in most cases, or in the optimal case, kind of a sonic representation of whatever you're feeling.
Horns up. Put your horns up. Horns up.
Rocks.com.
What has been the best show thus far here at Mayhem Fest?
Ooh, you're making me remember cities now. It's like Mansfield, Mass was killer other than we almost died from heat exhaustion.
Last night we played Montreal and it was insane.
Phoenix, it was really, really awesome.
Albuquerque, New Mexico is always like amazing. They never ever disappoint.
And they're all great. Even like, the ones that have maybe a slightly smaller turnout are still awesome, because the people who come to these shows, like, I don't know, maybe it's like one of a few shows they go to a year, or maybe they took the day off of work, but they're in party mode and they come out to have a good time.
Which is great. I mean, ultimately that's what we want. We don't want to have, this show's the best show and these shows are kind of okay and these ones sucked. I mean, we've kind of been right across the board, had really good, solid shows.
We got together, we wrote a few songs, and we ended up putting out our first 7-inch. The reason we got together really was just to play local shows, like around the DC, Baltimore area, the 930 Club. And we pressed up a 7-inch and just started playing shows around DC and Baltimore. And I don't know, I guess we decided not to get real jobs and just keep up with it.
That guitar looks like it has a lot of history.
Well, it's been around for a while, man. I've got a lot of miles on that particular one, but yeah, those ESPs they made for me years ago, and I had actually sent them my favorite SG that I was having trouble keeping in tune. It's like an old one, and I said, well, make me something kind of like this, which they did, and they made me 3 of them, and then Gibson said no. Quit making those. So there's only 3 of them in the world.
Live and loud from the 2011 Summer Slaughterfest. We have the Black Dahlia Murder headlining this amazing show. We have Dying Fetus. We have Whitechapel, 6 Feet Under, Power Glove.
You want your horns up. Horns up, motherfuckers.
Put your horns up.
And you're watching Horns Up Rocks.
Marathon of metal. It's the torch gets passed as fast as humanly possible from one band to another. and it's just non-stop snare hits all day long.
And how does it feel to be headlining?
That's awesome. Awesome to be back. I think the size of the whole thing is much bigger this time with the lineup, and this the climate is right for this tour right now. So it's just been going really well. People are coming out in droves, and looks like tonight is no exception. So pumped.
And thus far here at the 2011 Summer Slaughter Tour, what's been the best show or the best crowd?
They're all great. I mean, there's going to be a few shows where there's not going to be as many people as certain places. Like New York City is obviously going to be a big show. It's more bigger populated area. But I would say, like, the more coastal shows, like the California shows are great. Even the Midwest dates and the Canada shows are great. I mean, they've all been really good. I mean, honestly.
What makes them stand out is that they bring in different flavors for the younger crowds, for the older crowds, and hoping that, like, say you guys have been doing this for a while, but the new kids who come to see whatever band it is, that they go and pick up the music and become, diehard fans.
Yeah, like we did the Summer Slaughter Tour 2 years ago, and it was a little different lineup, a little more death metal 2 years ago. And a little less this time. So, but both times have been great. So, yeah, I mean, it's becoming a big brand now, right? So, yeah, good shows.
We're here in New York, Summer Slaughter Fest. It's a very, very special show, I think, for everybody tonight.
Yeah, I mean, New York is kind of always like this mecca of like awesomeness. You have LA, which is awesome because it's the West Coast, but New York is always a big deal. So. This is kind of a big deal as far as the shows on Summer Slaughter.
The process has changed only really in that it's a group effort now, with the steady lineup that we've had for the past 6 years. Everybody is really cool and happy with things. We have great chemistry, so it's branched out beyond just Mercedes and I. But for the most part, things in terms of like the environment and the way that we go about writing hasn't really changed. Like we still, go to the basement and rock out just like we did when we were 12 and 13 and 14 years old. And I guess for us it's just a comfort thing, it's what we know, and it's like, why try to fix something if it's not broken?
Phil Anselmo just stepped on stage, performed fucking hostile and a new level with Kerry King, with Scott Ian, with Charlie Benante, with Mike Portnoy, with Dave Ellefson. Dude, insane. That only happens once in a lifetime, and we're here to experience it. And hey, man, we're beyond stoked. Anthrax is about to go on stage, probably perform a lot of their new songs from their album Worship Music, which is out tomorrow. And if you're gonna watch this later, that means September 12th, and it's highly recommended. I've been spinning the record nonstop since I got it. It's a banging record. And of course, a very, very exciting event is happening on Wednesday at Yankee Stadium, the Big Four, where Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax are gonna take center stage and destroy. Live and loud from Yankee Stadium at the Big Four of heavy metal with Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. Josh Rifton here for Hornstop Rocks. This is heavy metal history, the biggest show in heavy metal history in the East Coast. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, what's up? It's Jose Manga from SiriusXM Liquid Metal and the Headbangers Ball on MTV2.com. It's really cool to be here. This huge show, New York City, 4 of my favorite bands of my life.
This is your first big metal show like this? Yep. First concert ever? You're gonna see these bands? Are you a little scared? Hell no, put your horse up, brother, little guy.
I was born in Misericordia Hospital on 233rd Street. It's no longer there. They renamed it. Was it Our Lady of Sorrow or something?
The three of us are actually born in the same hospital, which is pretty insane.
A lot of breeding going on around. We didn't know that. But it's kind of cool, yeah. I mean, overwhelming, It's really overwhelming. This is our biggest show in New York. It's really just going through the hallways here, diehard Yankee fan. Just a little bit overwhelming. It would have been nice if they left the clubhouse door open for me. What is that?
This week has been really, it's been crazy because September 14th, Anthrax Day in the Bronx. Our record came out September 13th, and now we play Yankee Stadium. So for us, it's like, someone's going to pinch us, and we're going to wake up from it all. But it's been awesome. Everybody here knows September 13th, yesterday, the record Worship Music came out. Everybody, I just want you guys all to put that in your papers, please. We're very proud of it. It's an honor. Worship Music, it's an honor. We're playing Yankee Stadium on September 13th. Oh, good. Am I too close to this mic again?
Yeah, put it back. It got really funny.
Megadeth is about to go on stage, man. Wednesday night was a historical night here in New York City at Yankee Stadium. And with Miguel, who came over from Mexico. And let me ask you something. How was the odyssey from like the moment you got to the airport until you finally arrived at Yankee Stadium? Tell us a little bit about the story of how you got here.
Well, I got to the airport really early in the morning. I got like at 8 in the morning. So I just got to the hotel. They didn't give me my room because it was too early in the morning. So I just went to the Yankee Stadium like at 11. I like all the 4 bands. Well, yeah, absolutely Megadeth. It's my favorite right now. Yeah, I like all the 4 bands, but Megadeth is the best for me.
Inside of Yankee Stadium for the Big Four heavy metal featuring Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. I'm here with White Boy, one of the boys from Dove's crew representing Dove's at the moment. What a fucking night, brother.
This show has been 100% White Boy approved. Slayer has fucking slayed, no pun intended, the whole fucking night. I'm still waiting to see Metallica because they may not disappoint, but I'm a big Slayer fan, so let's see what Metallica brings to the table.
Metallica owns Yankee Stadium right now. I want you guys to absorb this moment with us. Check this amazing panoramic out here at the Yankee Stadium press box. Huge shout out, of course, to Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Amott from Arch Enemy, and I want you to put your horns up.
Especially when you are Arch Enemy.
No, I mean, we've always had, that tag of melodic death metal or whatever, but we've never put ourselves in that box ourselves, actually. I just think we're more of an extreme metal band. I don't know what to call it, just extreme metal. And we got elements, like you said, from hard rock through to heavy metal, speed metal, thrash, death metal, whatever it is, whatever. Everything that we're into, everything that we grew up on. I grew up on, I grew up on a lot of early punk and hardcore, and then into thrash and death metal, and then also, the classic hard rock stuff, stuff like UFO, Black Sabbath.
Des, when you were starting out, who were you watching or listening to, and you say, you know what, I want to do that?
Everything, man. I listen to everything from blues to black metal. So it's from Motorhead to
Slayer.
Yeah, to Slayer, of course. I mean, but I listen to all music. I listen to outlaw country. I listen to everything. I listen to a lot of goth stuff, a lot of Bauhaus stuff. I listen to Black Flag to Black Sabbath.
And the question that other people have out there is, when you did the transition from Cold Chamber to Devil Driver, was it because you were kind of holding back that aggression that you have now in Devil Driver?
I don't know. Of course the music is different, but I left Cold Chamber because they got on methamphetamines. So when they got on drugs, I realized me going on stage every night was putting money in their pocket, was killing my friends. So I'm Italian. We have a saying like, cut your nose off to despite your face. But I had to do it, and I left the band. And now they're clean and sober and doing well, you know what I mean? So transition was, didn't want to be around that lifestyle, and then found a bunch of good guys up in Santa Barbara that wanted to make metal. And we've obviously transitioned into something totally different on every single record. We're just learning how to really groove together in Devil Driver, you know?
And we're here at the headquarters of Roadrunner Records in New York City, about to talk with Rob Flynn from Machine Head.
There was a moment when we recorded at Green Day's place in Oakland. It's called Jingletown, and they had this huge wall filled with all these old vinyl records, like all the original vinyl from the 60s and 70s, and Beatles and Bob Dylan and Zeppelin and all their favorite bands, Pink Floyd, lots of punk bands and new wave stuff. And I was looking through this Bob Dylan record, because there's a song that he wrote called Masters of War, which has some of the best lyrics I've ever read in my life. And they were very inspirational to me on Through the Ashes and on The Blackening. And I was actually reading the back of the album, though, the vinyl from the 60s, and it had this biography that was almost like an interview with him on the back of it. And it was just him, kind of a little bit of a history of him, and then just him talking about the songs. And that was an album that was a little later in his career. And one of the questions was, how is it that you keep on writing music that's so relevant this far into your career? Like, how is it that you can continue to do that? And he said, his answer was, you have to find new ways to say the same thing. And I thought that was so amazing. Like, that was such an amazing way to put it. And that is what music is about. It's finding, you have your own sound. We all have the sound that makes Machine Head, but you got to find a new way to say it to make it interesting for people.
20 years of music. Congratulations on that. I know it's been a lot of hard work. If you had to go back a little bit in time when you guys got together, tell us a little bit about the formation of Catatonia.
Well, it started with me and Jonas, the singer, being just two naive little teenagers dreaming, loving metal, And we just got together and we wanted to be just one of them, We were so influenced by, Bathory, an old Swedish band, Paradise Lost from England, Metallica, Judas Priest, all of this metal thing, just drove us to form a band together.
This is Metal Snaz, and I want you to put your horns up. This is us, man. This is our family. These people are, every city that I go to, I may feel a little comfortable in this van, but every time I walk into a club, I feel like I'm with my family because, you look at a crowd of 2,000 people, I can spot who's a metalhead. I can spot it. 2 seconds. I'll be like, that person, they listen to metal. That means a lot. You can't do that with other genres of music. We are the biggest fucking family in the world, man. Gotta believe that.
What do you want to accomplish when you started doing this project?
Had no idea, man. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be an all-out thrash band. I wanted to do a little bit more. I think one of the first songs we wrote that did together, I showed him the riff for that I wrote the guitar riff for Slow Burn, and I showed it to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." And we kind of that led to a couple other things, but we just didn't want to be a full-out thrash band. Even though we're old school thrash guys, but we wanted to be a little more experimental. We'll be able to do a little more with our music than just one avenue.
Everybody knows the legend that's Death, but tell us a little anecdote about Chuck.
Well, it was just such an honor to work with Chuck, and I've been a big Death fan since about 1990 when I was in high school, and first time I met Chuck was at a B. Dalton's bookstore at the Altamont Mall in Altamont Springs, Florida. And my friend Steve Childers and I, he was a guitar player in my band Burning Inside. We had just moved to Florida, and we were walking through the Altamont Mall one day, just hanging out. We had nothing else to do, and we walked into this B. Dalton bookstore, and there's Chuck reading a recording magazine. And we both flipped out. We looked at each other, and we're like, holy shit, that's Chuck Schuldiner. And we couldn't believe it, and we walked over to another section of the bookstore, and we're just freaking out, too nervous to go say anything to him. And we were talking to each other, and we're like, maybe we should go say something to him. And finally, we went over and said, "Hey, are you Chuck from Death?" And we knew he was, but we wanted to be like fans, and we were like, "Hey, are you Chuck from Death?" He was like, "Yeah, hi, how are you?" And he was just the nicest guy ever. And we ended up talking to him for a very long time, and he was super nice. I mean, just the nicest guy in the world.
The British wave of heavy metal influenced tons of bands. Around that time, when it was, when the scene was being formed, what were you all listening to, or what was the reason why this movement did so well?
We were listening to everything, really. I mean, we were a really wide scope of music. We were listening to, early Zeppelin, Wishbone Ash, a lot of the early Kinks stuff we liked. Sex Pistols, were in there, all in the mesh. Clash, a lot of Mountain were in there, all those early stuff. Hendrix, Cream, was all in there moshing about. And, I think probably Iron Maiden had the same influences because they were quite punky when they first started. Mm-hmm. So, this sort of aggressive style of playing rock, more in your face, more on the beat, rather than on the backbeat all the time. That's what we sort of created.
From the 2011 Metal Suckfest, I'm here with a good friend of mine, a guitar player from the mighty God Forbid, Doc. Welcome. How does it feel to be back on the scene and playing a big show like the one tonight?
It feels really good. We haven't played since New Year's Eve, and the last year we've been looking for a record label and finishing up the demo to get a label, and then finishing up the writing and doing pre-production, things like this. So now we're actually currently in the studio recording the new album. So it's pretty awesome, man. It's a little crazy because we're in the studio and we're trying to focus on the recording. So we're kind of taking time out of our days to rehearse and obviously do the show. But I'm pretty psyched, man. I'm pretty psyched. It almost feels weird to not play for this long, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it's a great lineup, and Metal Sucks has supported the band a lot. And I write for them sometimes, and the fact that they considered us, and we're good friends with Municipal Waste. We did a tour with them a couple years ago, so I think it's a really good show.
What are your expectations for tonight's show? The first Metal Sucks Fest in New York City. Of course, Metal Sucks has done so much for the scene, so I'll go around and tell us how you feel about this special moment for all those metalheads.
We're gonna bang some fucking heads. That's the short and skinny of it. We're gonna have a good time, and hopefully everyone else will too.
Yeah, we're gonna rock it, and hopefully everybody's having fun. It should be a good fucking time. It's a great lineup.
I support anybody that's trying to keep metal going, so that's a good thing, and we'll try to put on a good show for you guys.
Take us a little bit onto today. The moments you share with both Testament and Anthrax.
Well, it's been amazing. The tour's been going for almost 6 weeks so far, and every show is not sold out in advance like this one tonight, but pretty damn close, and every show is just totally raging, man. People come out early enough we go on first, which was a concern of ours, but usually by our second song, that place is packed in and people going crazy, so we're having a great time, man.
Right, you really have 3 headliners, you know what I mean? All with their different histories, but all around the same time when you were trading tapes with each other around that circle. So why don't you take us a little bit back in time into how, before it was even a scene. Now people talk about thrash metal scene, and it's this big amount of bands and this big amount of success. But when you all started together, it was not like that at all.
No, not at the beginning, definitely not. We were kind of basically one of the people helping pioneer this kind of music, this genre. But we were just, we weren't really thinking about it. Just it ended up to be what it was, just by sheer, people just getting it, I guess, because for us it was just fun.
Hey man, this is Matt from Exhumed. This is Ben from Goat Whore.
This is Dave Sanchez from Havoc.
It's time to put your horns up,
motherfucker.
The cool thing with being able to headline for us is that we have a little bit of latitude to kind of not like we can be we want this band, that band, that band. It just happens, but at least we can look at a list of available people and kind of pick bands that not only we like as people, but we like listening to, and that we respect. And it's all these bands work really hard and have been paying their dues. Even a young band like Havoc, they've already got a couple records out and they tour all the fucking time. And And, you know, that's really what it's about. It's just about, you know, people think like, oh, you're in a band, it's great. Everybody just shows up and like gives you cocaine and wants to suck your dick. And it's like, no, dude, we play death metal.
How was it to go back into like that old school mentality of being on tour with your boys from Exhumed after so many years? And I know one of the reasons why you jumped to the tour is because you said, hey, I cannot pass this opportunity.
Yeah, definitely, man. They're great guys, man. We've known them for a while. We toured with them back in the earlier days of Go4, you know, before they kind of disbanded and then got back together and everything. But, you know, it's a good opportunity to kind of play some new material and things. We didn't want to tour too much because we toured like all last year and the year before that so much for Carving. And we're trying to step back and, you know, we're busy writing new material and recording. But, you know, just a little small opportunity to get out there, kind of present some new material and everything and hang out with old friends.
Here I am, standing in the streets of Brooklyn talking to you. So things worked out okay.
Right, so far so good. Pretty nice tour package with Exhumed and Goatwhore.
Yeah.
Two, as we know, really, really important bands for the death metal genre. But most importantly, tell us about what you guys are bringing into the tour. For those who haven't seen you guys, who are still going to get a chance to see you guys.
Lots of headbanging and testosterone. And I don't know, we just bring heavy, man.
With the heavy in metal?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you take us into like the beginning of Obituary, how everything started for you guys? If you can remember.
Yeah, oh God. Literally getting off the bus from school, going into our garage and jamming until our mom said, hey, time for everybody to go home. We got to eat dinner. Thank you, brother. But that's how long Donald, Trevor, and I have been together, and that's what it was. So
it's almost like a hometown show, because I know New York City for Obituary has always been a very important market. That's why you did the webcast. You have a new record coming out. We know you're still, you're going to go into the studio, work on it and all that, but I'm sure, after 20 years, when you see a crowd like this, you're still like get goosebumps in your...
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, it just energizes you. It literally what keeps you going, to be honest. And, like I say, we've been working on a record. We've been doing a lot of writing. We're like, let's just get out. We wanted to do the webcast, so we just decided to pick up a few shows on the way up the East Coast, some dives, some dirt holes, but just to get back into that mood. So we're going to get home, finish out a heavy fucking album, and go from there. So
about when can people expect that?
We're hoping beginning of May.
Unfortunately, I couldn't see you before, but it kind of worked out in a way because it's your first New York City show, so I got to see what I thought.
The full effect.
Yes, the full effect. You know what I mean? And of course, the songs of the record, and you said it on stage. Revolver recognized that one of the best records of the year, and I completely agree, man. I listen to it weekly, not just because you're here, but yes.
I mean, dude, I'm just flabbergasted about that. I saw the list. I saw someone brought the issue tonight. We're lumped up with huge, great bands, and it's just an honor to just be recognized in that way. I had no idea it was going to happen. I was, actually a fan wrote to me and told me, I just got Revolver, and you guys are number 6 in the 20 best albums of the year, and I'm like, no way. So, and I contacted Revolver to confirm it, and I'm just honored. I'm really just honored and proud. I'm proud of the album, proud of the band, proud of myself, proud of Matt, proud of Johnny, Eddie, Eric, and also Bobby's involvement. So it's very cool. It's very cool because I've never been recognized. I don't know when was the last time I did anything that was recognized, by that magazine. So it's cool. It's an honor.
Last show of the tour. I'm here with Tommy from Between the Buried and Me, brother. Why don't you take us a little bit into what just happened through the last month or so?
It's a blur. It was a long tour. I don't know. We've been on tour for, I guess, 6 weeks now with Animals as leaders and Tesseract, and I don't know. It's been very comfortable, I guess is the word, which is good. That's kind of what we go for. And
Successful tour?
Oh, very, very much so. Yeah, and it's a great lineup. And that's always important for us when we do a headliner.
The return of the mighty Anthrax. Worship Music is absolutely the album of the year. There's no question about that. 80 years in the making. Those guys sweated blood, sweat, and tears in the name of New York and thrash metal and heavy music in general.
This one's called Fight 'Em Till You Can't!
Well, you know, it's a good thing for everybody, even the band, you know, just to be able to finally get something out and have me have a chance to come back and sing again with them, you know, and I'm just very excited over that, you know. I'm very happy that things turned out the way they wanted to, and everybody seems to be on board, you know.
And Joey, out of the tracks on worship music, which ones were the more challenging ones when you were in the studio?
Challenging isn't like hard or just, I don't know, you know, I mean, nothing was that extremely hard for me. I think, you know, some songs have their own little twist that lyrically they take a little bit of finagling as far as getting the actual vowels and spitting out a line to get the next, you know, the pronunciations of things. Certain ones are a little more wordier than others, a little bit more quicker and faster, you know, that kind of thing where you gotta really haul on it. It's hard to pronunciate things, you know, because I'm always trying to be as precise as I can. But that wasn't anything really super hard. I mean, even Giant was one of those ones that was very wordy, so it was, you know, a lot of words back and forth and stuff. But it wasn't that hard, really. It's just much more content.
Right. And if you have to pinpoint a message behind worship music, what do you think is that message?
God, I don't know. You know, I didn't really quite come up with it, so I can't. The only thing I can think of is this. You know, I guess everybody has their own like fans and of what they hear, and people that are really excited over bands and how they stick with, you know, how they just very much love, you know, the style of a band and how they stay loyal to a band, and you know, and at that point, I don't know if I'm certainly correct, but that's how I guess that's how I view it.
In your opinion, what is that sets apart worship music from the previous Anthrax releases, and let's say from what's come out this year?
Well, I just hear, when I hear a record that I know is special, it just really moves me. I mean, I get goosebumps listening to it. When everything lines up, the songs, the playing, the production, and I've known Anthrax my whole life, and I've been friends with them my whole life, and this record went through so much of a crazy process to get out that to hear it come out and hear it be this good is just incredible to me and really inspiring. And as friends, I'm very happy for them, but they know that if I didn't feel as strongly about it as I do, I wouldn't be saying what I said. And I really think it's the best album they ever made.
Live and loud from Powerful Magic Tattoo in Brooklyn, New York. I'm here with Paulo. You're about to go give me a tattoo. It's a Black Sabbath tattoo, and I gotta tell you why before I forget. They announced about 3 weeks ago that they're coming back together.
It was just time. I kept saying it. I mean, we couldn't have done it any earlier. We tried when we did the reunion before, but it didn't work. But this time, for some magical reason, we've written about 7 or 8 songs so far, and they're really good. I'm not just saying it. I'm like, wow, you know.
I mean, you know, we've always been in contact anyway over that period, so it's like, you know, it's not like we haven't spoke for all these years. It's been a constant thing. So it's great that we can all actually be in a room and start playing together now.
And you know the story behind Black Sabbath, how they came out. They came basically at a time where music was completely oriented towards, you know, British pop. And then they came out, they were like the bad guys, and then when we were trying to name the band, they came with Black Sabbath because it was like opposing everything. And the emblem, which I'm gonna get, it represents not only the band, but if you look at it, it has like Jesus Christ with like devil wings, and it's what Black Sabbath means. And of course, they've been through a lot of good things and bad things, and they're back together. So I figured at Powerful Magic Tattoo today, we're gonna pay tribute to them. We're gonna go there in a minute. I wanna thank you, brother. Check Paulo out at Powerful Magic Tattoo and put your horns up. This is what you see in their kick drums, in their records, all over the place, is their emblem, which is a pretty interesting piece. done a
some
physical
input.
tattoo, but he's never done a Black Sabbath tattoo. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Black Sabbath.
Your government has fucked you over, but as many other people in the world as the people of Greece, Bahrain, Yemen, and Libya, 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 from Benghazi to Tripoli, from your scabby, pimply knees, with a little daily care, daily care. His dictatorship will last for years of where, shooting down jets, blowing up the Lockerbie 747. Muammar is our guy.